Hello, my name's Diana. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who may not know me or have not watched any of my other videos before, I am visually impaired. I have a regular YouTube channel that I post like real life stuff to that I am hoping to also get back into. I've been a little silent on there. I want to do a lot of gaming content here, probably mostly going to be Animal Crossing until I can get like an actual PC to play games on. Currently I'm using a Mac and that has some limitations, but so far so good in the world of like Nintendo stuff and OBS, especially with the recent update to OBS. In this video, I wanted to start off just doing a tour of my Animal Crossing island that I've had since the game launched in 2020. I have gone through so many different iterations of this island, it's not even funny. I have a problem where I flatten it a lot and then I rebuild it. This is probably like my billionth time rebuilding it, but I don't think I'm a huge fan of this current layout. I like it, I worked hard on it, but I think it's time to start anew, or at least change some areas up. So we're gonna do that today. All right, we're in front of my house on my island. Really quick, I want to show my map. I mainly have custom designs on here and they are okay, but not my favorite. I don't like how they don't make a sound. It bothers me. We have Agnes and Genji, who are my original villagers. Like, they were the first ones that I ever had when I opened up this game and started playing it when it launched. Then we have Goldie. A friend of mine that I had made on Discord actually had her amiibo and sent it to me, and I am very happy about that. Goldie is like my absolute favorite villager. I know that she's probably supposed to be a golden retriever, but I have a yellow lab, and she reminds me of my yellow lab. My island is actually named for my yellow lab fawn. Then we have Ellie and Blue Bear, both of whom I found on Nookmile Islands, like again in 2020 sometime, and they're never leaving. We also have Punchy. I can't remember where I found him, if he was on an island or if he was in my campsite, but he is also never leaving. Bones, who has been here for quite a while, like a few years, and he is also going to stay. Originally, I was going to like rotate him out because I'm trying to get every villager poster and photo, and I'm doing like okay in that department. Then we have Tia, Tasha, and Hamfree. In this version of the island that I'm showing you today, right now, Tasha is in boxes because I have a villager in my campsite who I took. It's Klaus. I'm not really a fan of Klaus, but I want his poster and his photo. And I finally got the last DIY I needed, like in the game yesterday, from a message bottle. It was the pile of cash one, and that was the main reason why I had Tasha around anyway, because she's a snooty villager. Even though I do like her, I think she's cute, but it's time for her to go. I can get her back eventually anyway. I have her amiibo. This is my house. Island is still Christmassy. I still have my Christmas tree up in real life in here because I like the ambient light that it provides at night. Next to my house, I have this little area for seating and cooking, and this tiny library that I have in front of everybody's house somewhere, basically. I've been using it as a stand-in for a mailbox, kind of, as well as this lavender field and this path. Here we have a rock and some pumpkins, like a little tiny pumpkin farm. I try to have items in the corners of all of my rocks. I did not mean to sit on that stump. So it's easier to get all of the items. If you hear any snoring in the background, that's Fawn. She's taking a nap. We have Ellie's house, and then next door is Goldie. And between the two of them, I have this outdoor library that I made because they both like to read. And all of these gifts in front of their houses, they're just like random wrap gifts that I keep around to gift villagers when I'm trying to get their photo. It's really just like some cooked food and some giant clams and things like that. Nothing super exciting. We then have this little park area because I needed some snow to be able to make snow boys. And I found that the easiest way to make a snow boy is to make them like small, like this, and then they'll always be perfect, at least in my case. And then we go down here and we have Blue Bear's house with her little yard and her seating area, and a storage shed is also something I try to have outside everybody's house. And I like what I did with the fencing and these little triangular topiaries. I think that I might do that again, like in general. I just realized that I had my game audio muted this whole time. You didn't miss anything. It's the 2 p.m. music, and I hate the 2 p.m. music. We have this little cafe area next to the museum that I enclosed in the castle and the medieval pieces because I liked how it looked. And I have seen my villagers sit in these chairs occasionally, and we have a little space for cooking. And this just like looks out onto the ocean. We also have this little snowy area. I used to have like the regular gazebo back here, the domed one, but then I got rid of it and there was some pathing and like a bunch of flowers. But again, I wanted some space for snow to build the snow boys. Next door to the museum, we have Bones's house with a storage shed and this little tomato farm, and Humphrey's house. And I do like to redo all of my villager houses, both the interior and exterior. And I think that like maybe in the future I will show off doing their houses, or at least like redesigning them. We have another rock. We also have this pond that I put in front of their houses as like a water feature with some benches facing it. And in front of the museum, I know I'm going like backtracking a little bit, but in front of the museum, I have this that I made, this water feature. I think it's classified technically as a river. My colorful fishing rod broke. Don't make fun of me. No, this is a pond. Okay. I try to do something like this in front of all of my museums in some fashion. And then we have like some bench seating here with some flowers and a trash can that I made look like a post box. But I think I'm going to continue this trend somehow. I like the ruined furniture so much. I think it goes really well with the castle pieces. So I might keep that, but I might move it. I'm going the wrong way. I need to go down the stairs. We have also on the first level some like fake shops, like fake storefront areas behind Able Sisters, and up on the second level. And we have Able Sisters. I have like a bunch of clothes out here, you know, pretending that they're being sold with these shopping baskets. And I always like to have a mirror and a wardrobe to change clothes, as well as a storage shed next to the shops. Same thing with Nook's Cranny. I like having a storage shed. I have like all of the, you know, trash, like, you know, a little trash area. I have a farmer's market, which I like to do in front of Nook's Cranny basically in every iteration, but this one's a lot smaller than the one that I usually do, as well as some seating and a crafting bench and an ABD for the hot items and to like empty bells into, and, you know, just some shopping carts and baskets and stuff. I'm also gonna go down here and show the beach. This part isn't really super exciting. It's just like volleyball with a surfboard and a little peacock looking life ring. On the other side of the river, on the like far right, I made this food truck area, and it's kind of reminiscent of like this place that I go to in Maine every summer. I'm from Massachusetts, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that, but I grew up in Massachusetts. Right now, I'm not living in Massachusetts. I'm living like in Virginia, but I'm planning to move back to Mass eventually. This place that I go to every summer in Maine, it's like a donut shop, and they have food trucks outside in the afternoons and evenings. So I kind of tried to channel that here with seating behind it with all of this food laid out, like, you know, the villagers are having snacks. And I have seen villagers here eating before. Well, not eating, but like sitting like on the bench asleep or with a book or whatever, and it's really cute. Some of these trucks are different than they usually are. Like, for example, some of them during the summer was a boba one, a smoothie one, an ice cream one. These ones are not, because it's winter, so I wanted to have like some, you know, warmer food. I put a clay oven next to the pizza truck. I wish that the brick oven, like the pizza oven, was actually a functional cooking item. Otherwise I would have used that, but unfortunately it is not. Can I help you? I need a new catchphrase. No, I like your catchphrase. We then have this little pier that's in front of the food truck area. It's supposed to be like a carnival. I could have sworn I had something in this space, but I guess not because it's totally empty. I have all of like the capsule machines and the crane games, and you know, I put like some popcorn here next to the popcorn cart. I just don't come down here a lot because of the noise that's happening from these. I also usually play with my game muted. We have the duck game, the balloon cart. This is where Cap'n is. I typically have some stuff here on this little picnic blanket custom design, but I don't right now. I just use it as like a catch-all to like drop items if I'm going to a Cap'n Island. Up here we have some lounge space, you know, to lay on the beach. I have Gullivar today, and he's in the most inconvenient spot in the entire world. And then up here in the very north, like northern part, like the northeastern part of the island, we have all these boats. I'm pretending that there's like a boat launch here with all of these wheat fields in between to fill in the gaps, kind of like as beach grass. So I've been playing a lot of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I don't know if you guys have been playing it. It's an Apple Arcade game. So if you don't have an Apple device, you can't play it because it's Apple Arcade. I wish that like we could fast travel in Animal Crossing. I know that there are the Mario pipes, but that's not what I mean, because you can only use like 2 of them, and if you have more than 2 of them out, you'll like just spawn in a random place, and I don't want that. I want to be able to like actually fast travel to points on the map. So when you would first get off the plane and enter from the airport, we have this little area that I made in front of resident services. These giant ornament trees are typically replaced with these, the triangle topiaries. I think either that or I have some of like the taller round ones. I can't remember because like my Christmas island has been up for so long. These giant blue ornaments are usually just like the evergreen ash tree. And this is Tasha's house, but she's in boxes, so we're not going in there because there's really nothing to see, and I already said goodbye to her. And now we have this beach area here with like a little picnic spot, some surfboards, the lighthouse, or like lifeguard station. Lighthouse. I do have a lighthouse. Other places to like lie on towels, more surfboards. And then I made this like fishing area with like, you know, the scale and all of like the fish boxes and some of the fishing tourney items. I really like how that turned out. I know a lot of people do that. And I made a little post office here. Well, it's supposed to be a post office. You know, you have the little letterbox thing and all of these packages and cushions with custom designs, the crafting bench. And then we're going to go down the path here next to Tasha's house. We have a little plant stall. And we're gonna go up. This, I think I'm gonna keep in like my next island iteration. This thing that I did here with the lighthouse and the storefronts. This is actually 2 storefronts. I don't think you can really tell with the angle, but now you can. I really like how that looks, and with the bench and the little telescope thing. I think, again, like I have seen villagers sitting up here. I just love that. I'm keeping that. I think that was like the first thing I ever built on this island, on this like iteration of the island. We have Agnes's house here with her yard. We have a little potato farm and some sugarcane with a crafting table behind her house, and Punchy's house here with the outdoor kitchen and some seating and a storage shed, of course, with wheat next to his house. And then this is just like more storefronts. I wanted to make it look full, like the island. Oh God. I cannot hang out right now. I'm a little busy. Over here we have Tia's house, as well as a little wheat farm and the windmill, and there's like a little seating area behind her house with the storage shed, and I put like one of the vines here so I could use it as a ladder instead of having to use my own ladder. I know the stairs are also right there, but it provides a little bit of a shortcut. Before we go across the bridge, this beach, I didn't really do anything. I just had some lounge chairs. I was going to put some stuff on these rocks, like add an easel and some paint stuff, but I just didn't. Maybe in the future. We're gonna go across the bridge, and we have this like little rural area where Genji lives with the carrots, because you know he's a rabbit, haha. Some fruit trees and things like that. Of course, a storage shed. And next to him, the beach. I've seen a lot of people do this like on Pinterest and Instagram and stuff, where they'll put like all of the wheat fields on the beach and make it look like beach grass. Mine looks different than theirs. It's not super aesthetically pleasing, but I like how it looks and I'm gonna keep it that way. Up here we have the campsite. I like this kids tent item. I think it's really cute. And I always have the intention of putting more around the campsite, but I just don't. I also, whenever I do the campsite, like to have a place to cook, like the outdoor kitchen, some seating, a fire pit, and the cooler box to change clothes, as well as a trash can and this little bucket of water next to the fire. As well as, of course, a storage shed and a crafting bench, because, you know, when you do an amiibo, you have to craft the items for them. And then in here it was Klaus. He was just a random campsite visitor, but he's going to be moving in. So we're going to just take the ladder down, and I'll show you guys Red's beach, even though it's really nothing to look at, and this waterfall that lets out down here as well. I had stuff on his beach initially, like I had some fake art and some of like the porcelain vases and stuff. I took it all down. I don't know why I didn't put it back, but I think I need him to be back. Like I can't, I find it hard to decorate his beach if he's not actively here, because I need to see like where the ramp lines up. Also, I don't think I showed this area or really talked about it behind resident services. I made like a little shopping district sort of here, like of course all fake. This over here on the far left, it was ice cream during the summer. Now, of course, it's like hot chocolate and cookies and stuff. We also have some honey, some decorative items like, you know, porcelain glass, whatever. Clothing shop, flowers, a little baked goods area, bakery. This, my flag, is actually a picture of my dog that I took on my phone. There's a website, if I can remember what it is, I will link it in the description. I think it's like AC Patterns or something like that, where you can like upload a photo and it will turn it into a QR. And I scanned that with the Nintendo app, like on my phone, and got it in my game as a custom design. The good thing about the flag and the phone case is that you don't need to keep the design in your saved designs. Like, so if you'll see here, I don't have the flag in my custom designs list because you can just overwrite it and it won't change the flag. I'm sure you guys know all that. I just really thought that was a great homage to my dog, who is snoring soundly like 3 feet away from me. Anyway, that's basically what I have today in terms of like showing my island. I am hoping to do more videos, like, you know, doing some vacation homes, redoing my villager houses and things like that, as well as working on this island and doing some more like short form content. I did stream on Twitch a couple of years ago for about a month or so, I think, pretty consistently, but I haven't done that in a long time, and I don't think I'm going to do it for quite a while. It's just going to be a lot of like short form video content here, not live streams. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you liked it. I will be back again in the future with another Animal Crossing video, and we will talk then. Thanks.